There is nothing as exciting as the World Cup. Literally. When it comes to football, which for me is the greatest sports game ever in the history. People are going to bring basketball, going to bring rugby, they're going to bring wrestling. I love UFC. But for me, football, soccer is the greatest sport in the world. And when you're talking about the greatest sport in the world, you could talk about Champions League, right? You could talk about the history. You could talk about Premier League. You could talk about La Liga. You could talk about the world, the Euro. You could talk about the African Cup of Nations. You could talk about the Copa America. But there is nothing that excites everyone, not just one person. Not we coming out to represent our club side. I'm talking about nations, countries, than the World Cup. World Cup is a delight. World Cup is everything you want. Mothers, sisters, brothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, everyone are there celebrating their country win. And that brings me to the continent of Africa. I mean, what the African teams are doing is amazing. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. The African team has not failed. It's a shame that there are likes of Cameroon that is not qualified in this World Cup. The like of the big countries like Nigeria, the rest of them didn't qualify for the World Cup because I believe that these two teams I just mentioned would have gone way further. Make the World Cup more interesting, because now if you look at South Africa, you could look at Senegal, you will look at Egypt. Just last night, Cabo Verde drew against almighty Uruguay after drawing their first game against Spain. This is the joy of World Cup. This is what World Cup is all about. Where small nations, which nobody knows about. Now, if you look at the internet, everybody is talking about Cape Verde. Yes, we could talk about the game. We could talk about the joy they are bringing to Africans. But people are talking about the women. People are talking about how beautiful they are and stuff. But this is the beauty of World Cup, right? This is why we watch the World Cup. Yesterday, I stood up to 2 a.m. watching Cape Verde play against Uruguay. And that was amazing. That was one of the most entertaining games. It was so fast. And you could not blame the Uruguay team, because Uruguay, they don't have this stable midfield to control the ball and pause the game down. Because I believe what I saw yesterday was Uruguay playing to the Cape Verdean game. Attack me, attack you one-on-one. You cannot beat them like that. You have to calm the game and show them why you are better than them. But it's also a good thing for Africa, because now we have Egypt who beat New Zealand 3-1. Now the Africans don't just go and play the World Cup, or they just go and present themselves for the World Cup. They go there and compete. That is why I was happy seeing this kind of thing happening, because people have, years ago, they don't regard African football. Now if you look at this, look at what Morocco is doing. Look at what Egypt is doing. Look at what Senegal. Look at what Côte d'Ivoire almost defeated Germany the other day. And now Cape Verde. There's South Africa who have the chance to still qualify. Congo drew against Portugal. Now you see what I'm talking about. That the African teams now don't just go there and play. They go and compete. And trust me, if everything go well, I know that there are bigger teams that could be able to. I'm not saying that the African teams are favored to win the World Cup. There's Argentina, there's France, there's Spain, there's Portugal. There are big teams, there are bigger teams, right? There's England, there's Germany, there are all these teams that could win the World Cup. But guys, I won't be surprised if one African team gets to the final. Honestly, what the African teams are doing in the World Cup just makes us proud. At least we won't be sad that, okay, the teams that didn't qualify to the World Cup would have done better. These ones that go there, they are doing better. They are doing way better. And we should give them the full support, because as long as an African gets to the final, it brings up more opportunities for more African countries to present themselves to the World Cup. At least we won't see much big teams disqualifying in the playoff. But the most exciting thing was, the most shocking thing out of everything was just Cape Verde, man. The word Cape Verde, this small Cape Verde island, this small Cape Verde, they have these people play with their heart. This is what we want. World Cup is not won by tactics or by talent. Yes, all these things are important. But to win a World Cup, you need heart. You need to die for your nation. This is what Argentina did in 2022 Qatar World Cup. And that's why I've told you many times in my video, if there's a country, if there's a big country I envy when it comes to national team football, it's Argentina. Honestly, once they put on that blue and white stripes, that jersey, they turn your powerhouse. And this is what I see in Cape Verde yesterday. The Uruguay is a very good team. You have Verde, you have Nunes, you have a lot of them. But you see Cape Verde, they put on their hearts in that clothes, want to die for their country. And if you look at videos of fans around the world, the Cape Verdean fans around the world, they were shouting. This is a nation, an island of 500,000 people. Very, very small island. We were talking about Corazon the other day. Yeah? So let's honestly appreciate what the Africans are doing. They are presenting us very well. Very, very well. Very well. At the beginning of the World Cup, I was like, yes, Nigeria didn't go into the World Cup, so there's no need watching this World Cup. But now it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. Not because of the Africans are not doing well. They're actually going there to compete. That was the question we were asking before the World Cup. Can Africa go there and compete? Not just one, not just two, but all of them are competing. There's a possibility where 2 or 3 Africans can get to the semi-final. I see a huge possibility. And that is good for African football. At least eyes around the world, when next we're playing the African competition, will be able to watch. If that wasn't enough, did you watch what just happened in the AFCON 2025 in Morocco? You see how it ended, how beautiful the football was. All these players that goes to the World Cup are shine. They actually didn't even get to the quarterfinals. The only 2 teams that get to the quarterfinals and semi-finals that are in the World Cup that I believe that are going to go far is Senegal and Morocco. The rest that got to the semi-final didn't even qualify for the World Cup, which makes this thing crazy. That the quantity of the African nations who qualify for the World Cup are doing well. Are honestly doing well. I know maybe we could talk about South Africa, the xenophobia and everything, like nobody wants them to qualify. But actually, the second game, they did well. They actually did well against Czech Republic. Senegal have the chance now to become second in their group. Egypt, second in their group. Côte d'Ivoire almost beat Germany. Cape Verde drew against Spain, drew against Portugal, Uruguay. This is crazy. This is amazing. This is why we love the World Cup, and this is why we watch the World Cup, and this is why World Cup is the greatest tournament in the history of not just football, in the history of sport. World Cup brings nation. You could see fans changing jerseys with each other. This is why we love the World Cup. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comment below. Let me know what you think. Who has been your favorite African country so far? Which country have surprised you in this World Cup? Let me know down in the comment below. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Peace.